everybody, it's Michelle. Earlier today, I read you some stories in a video that I called Fact or Fiction. I got these stories from that show, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, and I read you 4 stories, and I told you that after I read each story to maybe pause your video and decide whether or not you thought each story was fact or fiction. And the first story I read you was called Octopus, the one about the 18-year-old girl that they thought was pregnant, and then they decided that maybe she had a cyst. They went to cut her open and get it out, and it was a baby octopus in her stomach. And I thought that, I was trying to think to myself when I heard it, is this something that could really happen? Could a person swallow an octopus egg and it sort of like be incubated in their stomach and then hatch and live in their stomach? No, this story was made up because I think that more than likely what will end up happening is the stomach acid will break it down. All right, the second story I read to you was called Cursed House, where the real estate agent Bev was selling these people, these couples, this house, this mansion of a house, and everybody that lived in it within 6 months time, they wanted to sell it. They were having horrible problems. They were either sick or lost their spouse, lost their job, went bankrupt. All kinds of mess happened to them. So they told Bev, look, you need to sell this house. Give me my money back. I am gone. And then Bev ended up buying the house herself, and the very first night in the home, she was electrocuted in her bathtub. This story was true. This was a fact. This did happen. Okay, third story I told you about was called Vampire, where the night shift nurse at the hospital saw a patient come in that was very malnourished, very bad anemia, just like real sick looking. She thought he looked like a vampire, and he had some visitors come visit him that looked like they were from Transylvania or somewhere, like really creepy looking couple, and they were seen trying to run out of the hospital with huge duffel bags full of something, but she didn't know what it was. And then the next night, she tells the nurse to take him away so she can check the bathroom. And when she did, she found blood packets emptied and just blood all over the bathroom floor. And he grabs her, he runs down the hall, busts through a window. Many stories down, he falls, and he is never seen again. This story is real. This story was claimed to have actually taken place. What happened to the guy, I do not know. I don't know the major details behind it, but this story was claimed to have been true. They didn't know if maybe the vampire thing surrounding the situation was kind of like a mask for, people who were doing something more like criminalistic and just trying to cover it up, but this story was claimed to have been true. All right, the third story I read, that was the third story. Okay, the fourth story I told you was Ring Toss, where Fat Joe was taking advantage of kids and stuff at this amusement park, and he was ripping kids off, how things like that happen in amusement parks. But anyway, or a fair or something like that. And the old man comes and ends up ripping him off. But I mean, he really didn't rip him off. He was just good at ring toss, and he was winning all the kids and everybody huge stuffed animals, winning them all kinds of prizes. And Fat Joe gets mad, shuts it all down, and comes after the old man. Well, he goes and tries to do some maintenance on a haunted ride, and he sees the old creepy man, but it's not a man, it is a dummy. So he's freaked out, and a little while later, he was found hung to death by his own ring from his ring toss game. All right, that story was definitely false. That did not take place. But I thought this was really fun. I think I'm going to try to each week. I don't know what day yet, but I think each week I'll tell you 4 or 5 stories in a video and then let you know whether they were fact or fiction. All right, y'all. I will see y'all maybe tomorrow. Bye.